"I speak 9 languages," said the son of the black cleaning lady. Arab millionaire Hassan al-Mansouri burst out laughing. 9 languages? Kid, you can barely speak English. His deep, mocking laughter echoed through the Manhattan penthouse office. The boy, David Johnson, 14, stood silently with his worn backpack clutched to his chest. His mother, Grace, trembled beside him, clutching a cleaning bucket. She instantly regretted bringing her son to work that day. Hassan, a 48-year-old oil magnate worth billions, leaned back in amusement. For him, this was entertainment, a janitor's son claiming genius. David, Grace whispered, apologized to Mr. Al-Mansouri. "No need," Hassan said, eyes gleaming. "Let's hear this fantasy. What are these 9 languages you speak, boy?" David's voice was steady. "English, Spanish, French, German, Arabic, Mandarin, Russian, Italian, and Portuguese." The billionaire's grin faltered for half a second. Each name rolled off David's tongue with crisp pronunciation. "Liar," Hassan snapped. "Grace, your kid needs therapy." Grace lowered her head. For 5 years she cleaned that office, endured insults for the sake of survival. But hearing her son mocked hurt more than any humiliation she had ever faced. "Mom, it's okay," David murmured. Hassan smirked. "He's jealous of my executive's children. That's why he makes up stories." David raised his eyes. "Sir, do you speak Arabic?" "Of course I do. It's my native language." "Then you'll understand this," David said and recited a phrase in flawless classical Arabic, complex, elegant, grammatically perfect. Silence fell. Hassan froze, the meaning ringing in his ears. This wasn't a memorized line. It was mastery. "Where did you learn that?" he demanded. "At the public library, sir. They have free language programs." For the first time in years, Hassan was genuinely speechless. Then he scoffed, trying to recover. "Anyone can memorize phrases." "You're right," David replied evenly. "That's why I brought proof." He unzipped his backpack and handed over several documents, official language proficiency certificates from Columbia University and city programs, stamped and signed. Hassan examined them, searching for fraud. "Fake." David calmly produced more. Completion certificates from online linguistic courses and advanced translation programs. Every document was authentic. Hassan's hand began to tremble. This 14-year-old, the son of a cleaner, had achieved what even seasoned diplomats struggled with. "How?" was all Hassan could whisper. "What you don't know," David said quietly, "is that I have a secret bigger than languages, and it involves you." Hassan blinked. "What do you mean?" David didn't answer. Instead, he opened his tablet and started a video call. "Professor Chin," he greeted in fluent Mandarin, "could you confirm my performance for Mr. Al-Mansouri?" A woman appeared on screen, replying in rapid Mandarin. Hassan didn't understand a word, but her tone was unmistakably professional. Switching to English, she said, "David has been my best student in 15 years. His Mandarin is native level." Hassan ended the call abruptly. "Grace, did you know this?" She shook her head, eyes wide. "David's always been smart, sir. But this, I started when I was 11, David said softly. "Mom worked 2 jobs, but after she lost one during the pandemic, I couldn't afford private school. Public classes were too easy, so I studied languages instead." Hassan sat back, conflicted. His own children had elite tutors. Yet this boy had outperformed them using only a library and determination. "But why languages?" Hassan asked. "Because when you speak someone's language," David replied, "they stop seeing you as a stranger and start seeing you as human." The words pierced Hassan. For years he had justified his arrogance with cultural distance. Now a child was dismantling his excuses. "David," he said quietly, "why did you really come here today? Your mother could lose her job." David met his gaze. "Because yesterday you made mistakes during your Arabic business call. Mistakes that could cost millions." Hassan went rigid. "What kind of mistakes?" "You used Mubashir when you meant Mustajil, and confused Miraik with Miraib. It changed the meaning completely." Hassan's pulse quickened. Those investors had seemed confused, but he had blamed bad connection. In truth, he had nearly sabotaged a $50 million deal. How did you even know? I've been studying business Arabic for 2 years, David replied. It's my specialty. For the first time, admiration replaced condescension in Hassan's eyes. You saved my business without me knowing. David smiled faintly. Actually, I did more than that. He handed Hassan another document, a full proposal for restructuring the company's international communications. It identified translation flaws, cultural errors, and potential losses worth hundreds of millions. You analyzed my company? Only public material, David said. Press releases, contracts, online transcripts. I found patterns. Hassan read it twice. It was brilliant. Why would you do this? Because I wanted to show you, David said quietly, that value isn't defined by your parents' money, but by what you can contribute. Something broke inside Hassan. This boy had destroyed every illusion of superiority he held. David Johnson, Hassan said, voice lower now. Can I ask, why me? Because you represent a system that ignores people like us, David answered. And because I wanted to see if someone at the top could change. Then, calmly, he took out a small digital recorder. I need to show you something before I answer, David said. He pressed play. Hassan's own voice filled the office. These black Americans are all the same, lazy, uneducated. That's why I only hire Arabs and whites for important positions. Grace gasped, covering her mouth. Hassan's face drained of color. Where did you get that? He stammered. In the elevator last week, David said. You didn't see me. That's illegal. Not in New York, David replied evenly. One-party consent. And since it proves racial discrimination, I'm sure the Labor Department would love it. Hassan felt his empire wobble. A single recording could destroy his company and his name. What do you want? He whispered. David approached the desk. A choice. You can keep believing people like us are inferior, and this recording goes public. Or you can prove you've learned something. He placed a contract on the desk. Promote my mother to facility supervisor with an $80,000 salary. Create a scholarship fund for disadvantaged youth. And hire me as junior language consultant. You're 14. Hassan protested. And I speak 9 languages better than anyone you employ, David countered. I've already saved your company millions. Grace stood frozen, pride shining through her tears. Grace, Hassan said softly, you've raised a genius. I've raised a man, she replied, one who knows his worth. David folded his arms. 5 minutes, sir. After that, this recording hits the media. Hassan read the contract. It was airtight. Protective clauses, legal fairness, clear deliverables. The boy had thought of everything. How do I know you won't release it anyway? Because unlike you, David said, I believe in second chances. The billionaire hesitated. What if I don't sign? David checked his watch. Then in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, the New York Times, CNN, and the Attorney General get an email. You're blackmailing me. I'm offering you justice, David corrected. You built your empire on injustice. Now's your chance to fix it. Hassan stared out at Manhattan. His empire had been forged through ruthlessness, yet this boy had beaten him with intellect and moral clarity. Grace, he said finally, do you accept the promotion? She nodded. Yes, sir. Hassan picked up his gold pen and signed. David Johnson, he murmured, you just taught me the most expensive lesson of my life. What lesson? That real intelligence isn't about birth or wealth. It's about what you do with opportunity. David smiled, shaking his hand. Welcome to the 21st century, Mr. Al-Mansouri. Then, to Hassan's surprise, David pulled out 2 more recorders. For your peace of mind, he said lightly, everything that happened here, including you signing voluntarily, is recorded too. For the first time in years, Hassan laughed, genuinely. You're frighteningly smart. No, David said, just prepared. 6 months later, Hassan sat in the Bronx Public Library surrounded by scholarship students funded by the David Johnson Young Talent Program. The man who once mocked cleaners now mentored underprivileged youth. Is it true David got his first job by blackmailing you? A girl asked. Hassan laughed. It's true, and it saved me. David, now 15 and the youngest corporate language consultant in U.S. history, looked up from his laptop. His revisions had generated over $200 million in new business. Grace, elegant in a tailored suit, supervised the company's facilities division and mentored single mothers. Hassan told the students, 6 months ago, I thought money made me superior. David proved that intelligence has no color, no class, no privilege. A boy asked, how did David know it would work? David replied, because I researched him. He'd grown up poor in Lebanon, came to America at 16 with broken English. He just forgot who he was. Hassan nodded. He reminded me of my own roots and forced me to change. Now our company hires talent, not last names, Grace added proudly. Hassan gestured toward a wall of framed certificates. When you invest in real talent, everyone grows. David smiled. My mother taught me that failure is accepting to be treated as less than you are worth. Later that day, at a meeting with Japanese investors, David's simultaneous translations secured a $500 million deal. A Forbes reporter asked, Mr. Al-Mansouri, how does it feel to have a 15-year-old advisor? Hassan smiled. It means I finally understand leadership. It's not about being the smartest person in the room, but recognizing and nurturing others' intelligence. And you, David? The reporter asked. Never let anyone define your worth. David said, your origins don't decide your destiny. Preparation and proof do. Grace concluded, when courage meets opportunity, there's no limit to what can happen. Hassan added softly, true wealth isn't what you accumulate. It's what you build in others. And as they left the conference room, the billionaire who once laughed at a cleaner's son realized he had met the one person who had made him truly rich, the boy who spoke 9 languages and taught him the language of humanity.